Hey, and welcome to what I hope will be a really helpful IC82 video. I'm going to need a test locomotive for this video, so I have picked the Class 20. She's DCC, she's by Hornby, and she's in a beautiful rail freight livery. Very nice, I'm sure you'll agree. So yeah, we're going to make this particular video using her, and this video is about running in. I get lots and lots of questions coming into my YouTube channel, and one of the most common questions I get is, what is running in? Or why is it important? Why do we need to do it? How do we do it? Well, you need to run in any new locomotive. Or you need to run in a locomotive, well I should say you need to run in locomotives that are not necessarily new, but have been sat on the shelf for maybe 6 months. Running in is something that you even do with your car, or at least you should do. If you buy a brand new car, I'm pretty sure the manual will say that you can't go over a certain speed limit or a certain rev amount for a certain time until it's done so many thousands of miles or whatever. It's similar to locomotives. If you want to look after them and you want them to last a long time, and trust me, most of them will probably outlive you, then you need to run them in. You need to take care of the motor inside and the bearings and all the cogs and everything. They are quite complicated little models. They're not, well, obviously some of them are toys, but most of them aren't toys. They can be quite expensive, complex little models, especially some of these new ones coming out now where they have a giant motor in the middle and twin flywheels and like 4 or 6 driving bogies. I mean, 4 or 6 driving axles, 2 or 3 on each bogie. That's just amazing. And you've got to take care of models like that. Now, when you turn that controller, loads and loads of parts start moving. For a start, the motor inside obviously starts spinning, and if it's got twin flywheels, then they start moving. And then lots of different cogs will start moving down here and down here. On this particular model, there is no centrally mounted motor. It's just one bogie that's powered, but the principle is the same. Even if you've got just one bogie that's powered over to one side like this, you'll have a motor in the middle, and as that spins, it'll drive 2 cogs that drive 2 smaller cogs or bigger cogs that drive the axles that drive the wheels. There are lots of moving parts. All of those moving parts need running in. They need to find their place, basically. Also, you'll get oil that's been pre-applied to just a few parts and in just a few locations. So by running everything and getting everything going, you are circulating the oil around all the different parts. It's only a tiny bit. Trust me, you do not need much oil with these, because if any of it gets on the track, oh, nightmare. So you only need a little bit. But if you've just, say, taken this off the shelf and she's not been touched for 6 months, just a little dab of oil there, a little dab of oil there, underneath, and then send her for a running in, and that oil will get distributed amongst all the cogs and even make its way up close to the motor. That's called running in. It allows the gears to bed in, it allows oil to be distributed, it takes care of the motor, it looks after the motor. And running in is something that you only do at a certain speed as well. You don't floor it, but then you don't do what's called labouring it either, which is making it go too slow, making it work quite hard to go quite slow. You don't do that. You just use a medium speed setting. And on most DC and DCC controllers, ones with a knob, that's about 10, 11 o'clock, 12 o'clock at the most. It'll vary depending on the locomotive, but basically, don't go too fast, don't go too slow, and you will be running in your locomotive. Generally, you need to send it for about 30 minutes in that direction, and then 30 minutes in that direction. But if the locomotive is like this, it's already been run in, it's just simply cold and it's been on the shelf for 6 months, then all you need to do is maybe send it for 15 minutes in that direction, and then 15 minutes in that direction. And when I say 15 minutes in that direction, I don't mean lift it off, turn it around and put it down again, because obviously that's the same direction. You need to let the motor work that way, and then let the motor work that way. That's running in. That's allowing those teeth to bed in, allowing the oil to distribute amongst all the different parts. It's important, trust me. It makes the locomotive last longer. It looks after it. It ensures that it will run smoothly and reliably for a long time. And even if you open a locomotive and the manual doesn't even mention it, what harm is it going to do to do it? None. It's not going to do any harm to run in the locomotive at all. And you'll find that most manuals do say to run in the locomotive. So, enough chit chat. Sorry for boring you for 5 minutes. I'm going to select this locomotive now. She's DCC. She's number 20, which is appropriate because she's class 20. And I'm going to set her going in this direction first. And there she goes. And you'll notice that as she goes around the loop, more and more and more, basically as she does more mileage, she'll get smoother and smoother. Okay, here she comes. And she's spent about 15 minutes running in one direction now. As I say, if she was brand new, then she'd have spent 30 minutes running in that direction. But she's not brand new. She's just a bit cold. So, the motor and all the cogs and all the bearings are used to running in that direction. Now we need to make sure they're used to running in that direction. So we simply flip the direction around and then set her on her way. Just build up the speed slowly until you reach running in speed, and then just leave it. Don't worry too much about little noises that you might hear as she runs around the track. Some of those noises will probably disappear as the locomotive warms up and gets used to running, especially if she's new. But other noises might mean that she maybe just needs a bit of oil, or maybe check the traction tyres in case one of the traction tyres is worn down, and that's what's causing a little bit of a noise. It could be that the bogie is a bit tight and you maybe need to loosen a screw underneath or something. Sometimes it's as simple as a little bit of detail that's getting in the way of the bogie as it turns corners and stuff. If the noise persists and sounds like it's something wrong, then stop the locomotive, take it off the track and investigate. Okay, again she's just coming around the bend. She's just spent about 15 minutes running in this direction. So even though she's not brand new, and she's just been sat on a shelf for a long time, she's now completely warmed up and ready to perform. So if we just take her off for a second. Okay, I'm back, and this time I have a brand new locomotive. A beautiful little Class 3F Ginty in British Rail livery. She's brand new, she's never been ran, so I'm going to run her in, which means, yep, you got it right, 30 minutes in that direction and 30 minutes going backwards, and then she'll be good to go, and that's it.